any car, anytime. That's one of the advantages of using iRacing, but certainly nothing beats being in the driver's seat itself. And I'm looking forward to as soon as we can get back on the track this year.
And you are seeing live as the B-Main lineup comes out onto the speedway for the Southeast Legends Tour. Glad you're watching in, however you're watching in. If you have not made your purchase yet on SEST.TV or PitRoad.TV, you got some time, go ahead and head over there and make your purchase. That way you don't miss any of the racing here tonight from Anderson Motor Speedway. We are just getting cranked up with B-Main action for the Legends cars. We will take the top 8 in this B-Main to go to the main event, the 1,200 to win main event. A little bit later on this evening, the Bandolero main event coming up after this one, but the field rolling here is how they will start. On the pole will be the 49 of Luke Morey out of Zeeland, Michigan. I think that's Michigan. Yeah, Zeeland, Michigan, Luke Morey. George Phillips will go from second in the 55. Brandon McKenzie will go from third in the 92. Heather Hadley will go from fourth in the 54 car. Starting fifth will be the 24 Ray Fitzgerald. Sixth will be Chase Singletary in the 75. Seventh will be the 02 of Walker Yates. Eighth will be the 25 of Taylor Watson. Only the top 8 will transfer. Starting ninth will be the 7 of Jack Baldwin. 10th will be the 53 of Zach Helms. 13th, starting 11th will be the 07 of Jesse Hilger. 12th, the 65 of Damon Burdett. 13th will be the 28 of Ronnie Milroy. 14th will be the 99 of Dustin Coonfield. 15th, the 10 of Roby Holt. 16th, the 41 of Sullivan Olson. And the final starter in 17th spot, the 56 of Randy Dilling, as we get them ready. Timmy Hudson giving the 1 to go indication atop the flag stand here at Anderson Motor Speedway, ready to turn these drivers loose. Again, we'll be keeping our eye on the 8th position. That is the final transfer spot to get into the dance later on tonight. The 1,200 to win main event presented by our friends at Timco of the Upstate. But right now, Rick Hendricks City Chevrolet Pace Truck will make the hard left turn onto the pit lane here at the Anderson Motor Speedway. We are looking to turn the drivers loose. Green flag is going to be in the air. We are underway. B-Main action for the Southeast Legends Tour. And off into turn number 1. They'll dive side by side and down the back straightaway. You see Luke Morey jump out to the early lead of the 49 behind him. It is a hornet's nest from second place on back. Jumping up into second is the 92 of Brandon McKenzie. But lap 1, led by Luke Morey and Brett, they are side by side from 4th place on back. It is a dogfight.
That first lap went a whole lot cleaner than I'd expected, but these drivers are doing a great job. They're biding their time. They know all they got to do is get top 8. You don't have to win this thing. Don't wad it up, and you'll be in a good spot.
Side-by-side battle for the 4th position coming down the front straightaway and back to turns 1 and 2. That is the battle for the 4th spot. The 24 of Ray Fitzgerald, the red car on the inside. The 54 of Heather Hadley, the black car on the outside. That is a battle for the 4th position over in turns 3 and 4. You see them almost 3 wide. They are 3 wide. Goodness gracious, sticking his nose in there is the 02 of Walker Yates. He backs out of it going into 1 and 2, but Brett, we were almost 3 wide going back to 1.
Smart move, checking up entering turn 2.
Back to turns 3 and 4. They are still side by side for that 4th position. Out front, Luke Morey, pretty decent lead. The top 3 breaking away, but right there from 4th place on back, it's a little bit of a log jam. Finally, Heather Hadley in the 54 breaks away for 4th spot. We look a little further back, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. We got trouble. Trouble in turn 2. 2 cars involved over there, one stopping to avoid. That is the 53 of Zach Helms and the 99 of Dustin Coonfield involved over there in turn number 2.
The 07 of Jesse Hilger also able to make his way through.
Yeah, it looked like Jesse stopped to avoid perhaps, but you can see those 2 cars still stopped over in turn number 2. Not able to pull away just yet. They might have to get a little assistance to get separated, as we are under caution with 3 laps complete, 12 to go in this B-Main for the Southeast Legends Tour. And the 2 cars involved right there on your screen, the black 99 of Dustin Coonfield. He was running in 12th at the time. And the 53 of Zach Helms, the 13th place car at the time. And they'll get separated there. Well, our official was trying to separate them. Yeah, one at a time. Well, they might call for a little more assistance. Wreckers are on their way over to turn number 2. And like you said, Brett, you got to get into the top 8. Those were 2 drivers that were battling for 12th to try to just get a little bit closer and get toward that top 8. And, oh, you can see damage on the right front of the 53 of Zach Helms.
And that fender that was stuck inside his car is actually the left rear of the 99 there. He drove right over top of that left rear, and they got connected.
They say sharing is caring, but I don't think you want to do that with a fender on these race cars. Brett, you can attest, the body work and the fenders on these race cars, it's not exactly free or cheap. I'm sure it adds up over time. You can see him, our Southeast official, handing that fender back over the wall to maybe one of the members of the crew, and there you see the 99 of Coonfield missing the left rear fender on that race car.
Yeah, we see some heavy damage to that left rear, but luckily it might all be cosmetic. Doesn't look like the tires hurt, so he might be all right.
And, you know, there's not a whole lot to protect these race cars. They've got that Nerf bar in the front and a Nerf bar in the back, but when it comes to the side, it seems like you can really run up on somebody. As you see the 53, Zach Helms on your screen, he's got damage on the right side. It looks like kind of that panel just below the door kind of bent down from where the 99 of Coonfield got up on the race car. And folks, if you're watching in on the social media pages, let us know where you're watching from. Comment where you're watching from. Be cool to see people are watching from all kinds of places: Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Virginia. If you're watching from across the country or outside the country, we love to see it. Let us know where you're watching from. We appreciate you doing so. Make sure you comment on whatever social media channel you're watching. As down in the pit lane, the 2-to-go signal being given to the field is, it doesn't look like Coonfield or Helms is going to make it back out. It looks like, Brett, looks like their night might be ending early in the B main.
Going to have to cut it short. Also, let us know who you're cheering for. We've got drivers represented from many states. We've got Heather Hadley out of California. Let us know who you're pulling for in this B main.
That's one thing about these Legends cars. They definitely attract people from all over the country. Everybody tries to make their way toward Race City, Mooresville, and get themselves one of these Legends cars. It's a real great way for drivers to, some people get started in Legends, but it seems like it's mostly people that they've ran the Bandoleros, they've ran the karts, and this is kind of a step up. They run these Legends cars at a lot of different racetracks. There's a lot of different offerings where these drivers can get out there and get some experience and get some racing. And like you said, Brett, they're tough to drive. They're not easy to drive, so not only are you getting racing experience, but you're developing skill.
Yeah, and it looks like we saw coming out of pit road, there's Zach Helms in the KBR number 53. He's going to be able to rejoin the field.
There you see the 92 of Brandon McKenzie. He will accelerate up. They will double them up. 2x2 formation to get ready to go back green flag racing with still 12 laps to go. We only completed 3 laps in this Legend car B main. So 12 laps to go. Top 8 make it to the dance. Luke Morey in the 49 is.
We're going green.
He's been the main one to beat,
like
and
still on.
Yeah, it looks like race officials saw something they didn't like, so they'll give a 1-to-go signal this time by. The Rick Hendrick City Chevrolet pace truck will just make one more lap. Looks like everybody's doubled up where they're supposed to be, and we'll get ready to go back green flag racing here in just a moment. Good crowd filing in here at the Anderson Motor Speedway, and we appreciate you watching in on our social media. Make sure you let us know where you're watching from, who you're pulling for, and it looks like someone might be out of line as the caution flag is coming right back out. So we'll let them get that sorted out and whatnot, but good to see some.
For the folks just tuning in, just walking into the racetrack, this is the B main on track right now. We're taking 8 going into the later on main event tonight, but we had 40 Legend cars, 8 transferring out of the B main.
Good to see y'all watching in from Pennsylvania, Australia, Massachusetts. That's what I'm talking about right there. I don't care where you're at in the country, hot, cold, snow on the ground, severe thunderstorm coming through, hurricane. We're glad you're watching in. Fort Worth, Texas in the house, watching along on Facebook as we're looking to get a green flag this time by. We are back underway here for the Southeast Legends as they head off into turns 1 and 2. Morey's going to lead the charge out of 2, but he's not going to be able to get away from Brandon McKenzie, the 92 on his outside, the front row side by side, going into 3, off of 4. Morey going to pull the lead back out over the field. McKenzie going to have his hands full. To the inside of McKenzie is the 55 of George Phillips. Battling there for the 2 spot. Phillips takes it. McKenzie tries to come down and play a little defense, but the 24, Ray Fitzgerald, says, I'm here, sir. He'll send him up the hill just a little bit. Fitzgerald in the 24 moves himself into the 3rd position. Brandon McKenzie back to 4th off the restart. Trying to play some defense, gets a little contact from the back from Walker Yates. Here comes the 54 of Heather Hadley coming through full steam. Hadley coming for the 4th spot as McKenzie free falling on the outside. Cannot get back to the bottom. Going to have a challenge to the inside by Singletary. Brett, he's just stuck out there right now.
Yeah, in this Legend car, you don't want to get hung out on the top. You see, going the wrong way now. Might still be able to slot in line here behind the 0-2.
McKenzie desperately wants to get back to the bottom, but Walker Yates says, I'm not done with you. Side by side right there for the 6th position, and contact from just behind the 0-2, or the 28 of Ronnie Milroy, the black and orange car, coming up from his position. He's in the 8th spot, the 8th and final transfer spot. Ronnie Milroy in that black and orange 28 down the front straightaway as McKenzie has dropped to 7th. Now finally falls in line right in front of the 28 of Milroy, but McKenzie finally finds a place to hide and going to settle into 7th. But Milroy, the black and orange 28 right there, that is the 8th and final transfer spot to head into the main event. Back up front, race leader Luke Morey showing the way. Looking a little further back there, we see the 24 on your screen. That is Ray Fitzgerald. That is the 3rd place car. That's 3rd, 4th, and 5th on your screen. Fitzgerald, followed by Hadley, and then also the 75 of Chase Singletary. And then a little further back, there's 6th, 7th, and 8th, right to the right on your screen. That's where the final transfer spot is. We're coming to 5 to go, or there was 5 to go that time by 4 laps to go this time around. Luke Morey is completely in control out in front of this field. But who will join him in the main event? On your screen is 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. Nose to tail out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway, heading back to 3 and 4. All over each other coming down the stretch with 3 laps to go. These guys are not just racing for a transfer spot, Brett, but they're trying to finish higher. The higher you finish, the higher you start in the main event.
That's right. Ronnie Malloy holding on to that transfer position right now, but don't look now. We've got 1 car turn around. Out of number 2, it looks like yellow flag's going to be in the air. Yellow
flag is out. 1 car was out of shape in 2, and there you see the 65. That is Damon Burdett, who was out of shape in turn 2. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching in on our social media, we appreciate you watching in, but we're going to hit the button after this Legend B-Main, so make sure you head on over to SEST.TV or pitroad.tv. Go ahead and make your purchase. That way you won't miss a thing as we see you watching in from Florida. Taylor Jan Eaton cheering on Taylor Watson. Seeing all kinds of y'all supporting your drivers. Heather Hadley's getting some love, so is George. Kyle Clancy representing for the Aussies. Aussie. Oh, that's New Zealand. Gosh darn. I am so sorry. Please forgive the stupid American that mixed you up. Representing for New Zealand. Darn, the flags look alike. I'm sorry about that. I sincerely apologize. I wouldn't mix you up on purpose. I don't have a lot of experience. Furthest west I've been is Knoxville, Tennessee, Brett. I don't know a lot about what's past Tennessee. You got to do any traveling?
Not much traveling. If I'm not traveling for a race, then I ain't traveling, you know?
That's me. I'm usually, stuck at the house. I'm lucky my wife let me out to come call this race, and now I'm in trouble with New Zealand. Meanwhile, we're getting doubled up here with just 3 laps to go in this B-Main. Again, we're going to hit the button after this B-Main is complete. We appreciate you watching in on our social media channels, but you need to go make your purchase on SEST.TV or pitroad.tv. You can make your purchase there. You get the monthly pass, and you don't just get these races. You get a month's worth of the Solid Rock Carriers Cars Tour, along with other events featured on the Speed Sport TV network. You don't get the whole thing, but you do get a lot of selected events on the Speed Sport TV network. It's definitely worth the price of admission. You get way more for this than you're getting out of your Spectrum, Dish Network, or DirecTV. I can vouch for that because I love watching pitroad.tv. And I love watching the green flag come out as we're going back to work with just 3 laps to go. There's not much time left. 8th and final transfer spot being held by that black and orange 28 right in the middle of your screen. Ronnie Malloy holding on for dear life with the 92 of McKenzie to his inside. And now McKenzie drifts back. Oh, we got trouble. The leader is in trouble. The 49 of Luke Morey spun out in turn 4, and the caution is out, and Bedlam strikes late in the going. Brett, the leader of the B-Main, spun out.
Wow, tough break for Luke Morey right there. Also, the 28 of Ronnie Malloy was in a transfer position, and we see they've got some contact. Looks like the bumper is pretty mangled. That left front of Morey, though, definitely not able to keep it running. As we see, he's climbing out of the car. Looks to be all right. Looks like every driver involved is going to be okay. We see the helmet off Baldwin in the 7 car there.
Morey's he just got to be disgusted. He was leading the B-Main to transfer into the main, and just trouble strikes. There you see the 28 of Ronnie Malloy. He's out of his car assessing the damage. He's got left front damage. That front Nerf bar has got some damage. We're going to get a look at a replay here. There's Morey on the left of your screen, the 49. He's the leader. Maybe some contact.
Slight contact with George Phillips there.
Oh, it didn't look like much, Brett, but it was just enough, you know? It wasn't like a deliberate dirty hit, but it was just enough contact. We're going to get another look at it.
No, it looked like George stuck his nose under there, but Luke kind of left a lane open. See, 55 checks up.
Yeah, you see the 49 come down.
Just slight contact.
Just meeting in the middle right there, like you said. He left it open. The 55 had his nose in, and big second hit there with the 28. Looked like poor Ronnie Malloy had nowhere to go but run right into the leader. And Morey, tough break there. Looks like he might need the wrecker to get pulled back to the infield. I don't know that the 7 of Baldwin necessarily got into that as much as maybe he stopped. Didn't see if he got a big piece of it. I know Malloy got a lot of damage on the left front. Obviously for Luke Morey, the race leader, what a change of fortune. I mean, we were talking the whole B-Main about how good Luke Morey was looking out front. We were looking back at the battle for 8th because he was gone with the lead. And, you know, Brett, on a restart, anything can happen. And right there, pure evidence of that.
That's true, and this is going to be setting us up for quite the finish now. They didn't even finish that first lap of the restart, so it still looks like it's going to be 3 to go. The running order is going to be pretty much tossed upside down now that we have some drivers up front, some that were in that top 8 that transfer to the A-Main later on this evening out of this race.
So we'll work to get them all reset here. The wrecker crew here at Anderson Motor Speedway going to work to get Luke Morey's car pulled off the track, and it looks like the 7 of Jack Baldwin's going to also need some assistance to make his way off the racetrack, but tough break for those drivers. 25 of Taylor Watson, the 65 of Damon Burdett. Well, Burdett was actually further back in the back because he had been involved in a caution. He was involved in the caution that helped set up the restart where this caution happened. So Burdett's a little further back, but the 07 of Jesse Hilger is going to kind of give some of these drivers a little bit of new life, Brett. Some of these guys that maybe were running 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, now with the 2 of the guys in the top 8 essentially being taken out by this incident, it's really going to open up the door.
Yeah, as you said, Taylor Watson. I've been watching that number 25 car with pink numbers on the door. I've been watching them make their way up through the field. They started 8th, dropped back a little bit earlier in the early laps of this race, but back inside the top 8 now. Great shot to transfer onto the A-Main.
And there you see former race leader Luke Morey. With these Legends cars, you can pull them off the racetrack just by the big old hooks, the whole car swinging. Meanwhile, the 7 of Baldwin is going to need some help to get back.
The 7 might be okay. I think he put his helmet back on.
That's good to see. It's always good to see. See if we can get the car refired. Meanwhile, you look back at the field that is stopped on the back straightaway, and there you see George Phillips, the 55, who would inherit the race lead, the 24 of Ray Fitzgerald, the 54 of Heather Hadley, and the rest of the field right there. You see them on the back straightaway here at Anderson Motor Speedway. Our Legend car B-Main Bandolero feature will be coming up next as the tow trucks are going to make their way back over to turn 3, but I don't think they're needed. It looks like the 7 of Baldwin's going to be able to come off the racetrack. There you see the 25 on your screen right there. That is Taylor Watson. Good, healthy field of Legend cars. A couple of them got a little more damage on them now than they had before the night started, but everybody's trying to get into that 1,200 to win main event.
Wanted to go back on what I said, the 7 car. I thought he was inside of that Legend. He was just putting his suit back on, but taking it off now. Looks like he's going to be done.
There you see the tow truck dropping off the 49 of Luke Morey. His hauler parked right near there toward the pit entrance, just off of turn number 4. Be interesting to see if they try to make some kind of effort to get back out there or what they will do. They're looking in on the right side. I don't see a lot of drastic movement going on right now. They might be resigned to their fate, but we'll at least keep an eye on them down there. They got the jack out. They might at least see how bad the damage is.
Right. I mean, we know anything can happen, but at this point, with such little laps left, with so many Legend cars on the speedway, they might just call it a night, regroup, and get the thing back together for another race.
So we'll see what happens here. There you see the 7 of Baldwin also pulled off the racetrack here at Anderson Motor Speedway, and he's
suiting back up.
Yeah, I was about to say he's getting dressed, undressed, redressed. He might be getting back in that darn thing. We'll keep an eye on that 7.
Either a cool breeze just came by, got a little chilly. Looks like he's scrapping to get his equipment back on. I think he might be able to go.
So we'll see. It's going to be 3 laps to go when we restart the B-Main here for the Southeast Legends. And again, folks, if you're watching in on our social media feeds, we appreciate you watching in, but make sure you head on over to scst.tv so that you won't miss a thing. scst.tv or pitroad.tv. Appreciate you watching in. So we're back under caution flag. Everybody was stopped on the back straightaway. Now we're back under yellow. Field will follow in behind the Rick Hendricks City Chevrolet. And your rundown looks like this. The 55 of George Phillips is your race leader. In second, the 24 of Ray Fitzgerald. Hadley. The top 5 will be rounded out by the 75 of Singletary. As the field getting the 2-to-go signal, this time by the line by Southeast Super Truck flagman, Mr. Timmy Hudson. Next time by, we'll try to get a 1-to-go signal and go back green flag racing. But George Phillips right there in the 55 in the catbird seat. He will restart with the lead and just 3 laps to go. We saw some bad fortune for the last guy that restarted this race in the lead, but we're going to go ahead and double them up side by side. George Phillips and Ray Fitzgerald on the front row. Singletary in the second row, third row, 02 of Walker Yates, and the 92 of Brandon McKenzie. Car in the 8th and final transfer spot is the 07 of Hilger as the City Chevrolet Pace truck is out of the way. Green flag is out. Top 8 trying to break away and get out of harm's way as fast as they can with just 3 laps to go. There you see him under a blanket. Oh, a lot of contact. A lot of contact down the back straightaway. 92 of McKenzie getting booted around like a football out front. They're side by side for the race lead. Coming to 2 to go. Here comes Hadley to the inside. Hadley looking for the lead out of 2. Down the back straightaway. She has the lead over Phillips. Phillips in the 55 back to second. Here comes Walker Yates in the 02. Coming from 3rd position. White flag in the air this time by. And we've got trouble in turn 4. Brett, you saw it.
They had to throw the yellow. Yep, they were right there in the center of the track. I'm not sure how the rules work, if once the white flag is out, if the race is official, or if we're going to go back to a quick 1-lap shootout.
And our flagman, Timmy Hudson, showing the checkered and caution flags. And that's going to do it for our freebie, folks. We appreciate you watching in on social media. Head on over to make your purchase at scst.tv or pitroad.tv. And we'll see you on the other side.